Let me ask you a question. In what world is an error message a sign of success? Well, in the world of API security testing, that's exactly the case. Today, we're diving into a skill that really separates the pros from the rookies, mastering rate-limiting tests. And trust me, this is about way more than just performance. It's about building an API that's tough enough to handle its own success. It sounds like a great problem to have, right? Your API is a huge hit. But this is the exact moment when things can go sideways, and I mean fast. Have you ever really thought about that? What happens when that little side project you built or that new feature just absolutely goes viral overnight? Are you actually ready for that flood of traffic? See, on a normal day, everything's cool. Your API is just humming along, responding to requests, keeping all your users happy. But then, the surge hits. Maybe a marketing campaign just explodes. Or worse, a malicious actor decides to target you. All of a sudden, that manageable stream of traffic becomes a tidal wave. And your system, it just starts to crumble. And here's the part you absolutely cannot miss. An uncontrolled flood of traffic isn't just a performance hiccup. The Open Web Application Security Project, OWASP, they identify this as a major security vulnerability. It's basically a denial of service attack, whether it was on purpose or not. Your system is vulnerable. So how do you protect yourself from this? It's simple. You hire a bouncer. A digital one, of course. So let's talk about what rate limiting actually is. At its core, it's just a control you put in place to manage how many requests any single client can make in a certain amount of time. Think of it like a bouncer at a club, checking IDs, making sure the place doesn't get too crowded, and ensuring fair access for everyone. It stops one person from ruining the party for everybody else. And look, this isn't just some nice-to-have feature. The OWASP API Security Project lists lack of resources and rate limiting as the number 4 biggest security risk out there for APIs. Number 4. This is a really big deal. Okay, so we know we need it. But how do we know if our digital bouncer is actually any good at its job? Well, we have to test it. We have to unleash our own controlled virtual horde and see what happens. And you know what? The process is surprisingly straightforward. First, you just need to know the rule. What's the actual limit? Is it 60 requests a minute, 100? Then you pick a tool that's built for this kind of job. You set up that tool to intentionally break the rule, you run the test, and then, and this is the most important part, you check the results. Now, here's the secret sauce. The most critical part of validating this is making sure the API gives you back the right code, which is 429 too many requests. You could use a simple script for a quick gut check, but for a real stress test, you're going to need a professional tool. Let's take a look at how you'd set this up in something like JMeter. So here's a sample configuration for a real test. We're not just sending requests one by one. No, we are simulating 500 concurrent users, all hitting the API within a 10-second window. But the most important piece of this whole puzzle is that last line, the assertion. We are explicitly telling the tool that this test only passes if the API responds with that specific code, 429. And this right here, this is the critical mind shift you have to make. In rate limit testing, success is not a 200 okay. Success is proving your digital bouncer is on the job. That 429 too many requests response, that's not a failure. That is solid proof that your security control is working exactly as it should. This brings us to one of the biggest things that separates an average tester from a top tier one. It's all about what you're actually looking for in the results. Okay, the rookie mistake almost everyone makes is just checking for any error. A 500 error just tells you the server crashed. A 404 tells you something is missing. But a 429 tells you your rate limiter did its job perfectly. That is the pro move. Be specific. The other common pitfall is the tool you use. Yeah, I know everyone's first instinct is to write a simple for loop. Don't worry, we've all been there. But that just doesn't simulate real-world concurrent traffic. Using a real load tool like JMeter or Case 6 isn't just about sending more requests. It's about sending them in a way that truly mimics an actual traffic surge. All right, let's boil this all down to the absolute must-know takeaways. 1, this is a security test, not just a performance check. 2, your job is to intentionally overwhelm the system to trigger the limit. And 3, the magic number you're always looking for is 429. If you see that code, you've won. And I'm serious. This one, simple concept, testing for the correct failure, is an insider tip that puts you in the top tier of QA and automation engineers. Master this, and you're not just testing an API anymore, you are actively securing it.